Most consumers view salt as a single basic ingredient, assuming that every white crystal on the shelf is identical to the next. In reality, industrial food production has transformed STNDRD table salt into a heavily processed product stripped of its original trace elements and blended with anti-caking additives. The Federal Food and Drug Administration allows various conditioning agents, including sodium aluminosilicate and yellow prussiate of soda, to keep commercial salt flowing freely in humid environments. While these compounds meet regulatory safety standards in tiny amounts, their presence highlights how far modern table salt has drifted from raw mineral deposits mined directly from ancient ocean beds or naturally evaporated sea pools. If you are stocking your kitchen pantry in Texas, Ohio, Florida, California, Georgia, or New York, you have likely encountered dozens of competing brands promising exceptional purity. Where are you tuning in from across the United States today? And what state do you call home? Drop a quick note in the comments section below to let me know where you are watching from. While you are down there in the comments, I would also love to know your age so I can better understand who is joining our community for these weekly investigative breakdowns. Mass-market iodized table salt remains the most common variety found in American households, yet it undergoes an aggressive bleaching and refining process. High-heat thermal processing removes natural trace minerals like magnesium, potassium, and calcium, leaving behind nearly pure sodium chloride. To replenish lost iodine, processors introduce potassium iodide, which then requires stabilizers like dextrose, a refined sugar, to keep the compound stable on grocery store shelves. When you sprinkle standard table salt over a meal, you are consuming sodium chloride paired with added sugars and synthetic flow agents. Certain inexpensive store brands sell highly refined sea salt that relies on marketing language to mask CONV and TONAL processing. Under Federal Trade Commission guidelines for advertising standard rules, marketing terms like natural or pristine do not necessarily mean the product is unrefined. Many budget-friendly sea salts are harvested from industrial evaporating ponds, washed with chemical solutions, and dried at high temperatures. The resulting product retains almost none of its natural mineral balance, rendering it essentially identical to basic table salt despite the elevated pricing on the store label. Mined rock salts packaged in decorative plastic grinders often present. Another hidden challenge for conscious shoppers. Lower-tier distributor brands frequently source low-grade halite deposits that contain high proportions of insoluble silt and microfine clay particles. When ground over hot food, these mineral impurities do not dissolve properly, creating a gritty texture while offering no nutritional advantage. Furthermore, cheap plastic grinder mechanisms can shed tiny, synthetic particles directly into your food as the gears wear down over repeated uses. Popular specialty brands selling flavored or seasoned salts regularly use cheap carrier agents to bulk up their packaging volumes. A close inspection of the ingredients panel on these popular seasoning blends often reveals maltodextrin, silicon dioxide, and artificial flavoring agents listed ahead of the actual herbs or spices. Food manufacturers use these cheap fillers to prevent clumping and extend product shelf life, but this practice dilutes the quality of the salt while introducing unnecessary, ultra-processed additives to your dinner plate. Kosher salt remains a staple in professional kitchens due to its large flake size. Yet, major commercial brands process their flakes through distinct mechanical methods. Certain national brands utilize chemical anti-caking additives like sodium ferrocyanide to preserve loose flaking, whereas others create their distinct texture purely through vacuum evaporation without synthetic help. Reading the fine print on the carton is essential, as to boxes sitting side by side on a retail shelf can harbor vast differences in processing ingredients. Himalayan pink salt has surged in global popularity, but mass-market imports frequently suffer from significant quality control issues. Lower-grade pink salt mined from the outer edges of large industrial operations can contain non-soluble rock dust and varying levels of trace elements that offer no verified health benefits over standard mineral salt. Because regulations do not strictly define the mineral percentage required to claim authentic origin, generic pink salts often trade on visual appeal. rather than superior purity or clean processing standards. Fine-grained sea salts marketed for everyday baking frequently hide added moisture regulators that are not immediately obvious on front panel packaging. Synthetic compounds like calcium, silicate are routinely added to absorb ambient moisture and maintain a uniform flow through small salt shaker openings. While these ingredients are deemed safe by oversight authorities, they represent necessary industrial inputs for home cooks seeking simple, single-ingredient pantry items for their family meals. Certain high-volume imports labeled as Mediterranean sea salt are harvested from coastal waters, near heavy maritime shipping corridors or industrial zones. Ocean water drawn from these highly trafficked regions undergoes standard filtration, but consumer advocacy groups have noted that microplastic contamination remains a growing concern in surface water harvesting operations. Without independent laboratory verification proving rigorous filtration, low-cost imported sea salts can carry microscopic synthetic residues straight to your kitchen counter, or bleaching agents. If you are searching for pure, reliable options that avoid excessive processing, traditional coarse, gray sea salt harvested by hand stands out for its exceptional quality. Collected from clay-lined tidal pools using wooden tools, this unrefined salt retains its natural moisture alongside dozens of native trace minerals. Because it undergoes no thermal drying, chemical washing, or additive treatments, it delivers a complex flavor profile, with zero anti-caking chemicals or added sugars included in the bag. Another pristine choice is mined unrefined, ancient rock salt sourced from protected underground deposits in the American Southwest, deposited millions of years before modern pollutants existed. This ancient mineral salt is brought to the surface, crushed to size, and packaged without thermal processing or chemical additives. Its natural pink and speckled appearance comes entirely from naturally occurring iron and trace elements, making it an excellent, clean option for daily cooking needs. Finally, traditional flake salt produced through slow open pan evaporation offers unmatched purity and delicate texture. Without industrial intervention, master salt makers gently heat pure seawater in shallow pans until thin, pyramid-shaped crystals form naturally on the surface. These delicate flakes are harvested carefully by hand and packaged directly, providing a clean, single-ingredient finishing salt that contains zero flow agents, zero stabilizers, and zero synthetic additives. What brand of salt is sitting in your pantry right now? And will you be checking its label after watching this? If you found these grocery shopping insights helpful, please take a moment to like this video and share it with a friend who loves cooking. Our goal is always to promote informed shopping decisions rather than fear, helping you select clean, minimally processed ingredients for your home.